I have one more question for you before we move on to some of the closing questions. And this is to do with actually a topic that is not normally associated with Islam, and that's the topic of superstition. And there's a hadith I have here in Sahih al-Bukhari where the Prophet ﷺ said, evil omen is in the woman, the house and the horse. How do you explain that?
إنما الشؤم في ثلاث حديث أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, that a shu'm is found in three things. I think that first of all, it's really what you said in the beginning is actually very important, that superstition has no place in Islam. So whatever this hadith means, for certain this hadith is not superstition. But a shu'm is where you can feel that something is not right for you.
Okay.
It's just, it's not meant for me. And the Prophet mentioned three things. He mentioned al-mar'ah, a woman, as in your wife, dabba, a riding beast, and a bayt, a house. Islam doesn't oppress houses. I think we've all agreed unanimously that Islam is not a religion that oppresses houses or oppresses horses or camels. So there's no reason to consider this oppresses a woman. It simply means that when you have that feeling, a shu'm is like that. Like you have a feeling that it's just it isn't meant for me. This doesn't work for me. There are some houses, there's no reason someone says, explain why. It's not.
Can't put your finger on it.
Just not, I can't put it's not working for me. It's not something that is right for me. Now, Islam didn't approve any kind of superstition, that this person's superstitious or they have a curse upon me or an evil omen upon me. I think the translator there tried to find a good word for a shu'm, which is difficult to bring in. But this feeling that something just, to be honest, this person is just not bringing good for me. Since I'm married, it's just not worked out for me one way or the other. That is correct to say about a woman, about your wife, that it could be a case that someone got married and it just doesn't suit them and they can't necessarily put their finger on it, or they can't really necessarily express it in words. It's just not working out for me. And the same thing can happen with a riding beast, that this riding beast, since every time I've ridden it, something has gone wrong. Like it just didn't work out for me. And I'm not saying it's a superstitious or it's cursed or something. Right. I'm just saying that it just has not worked out for me properly at all. And likewise, a person can say so about a house. You say, you know what it is? I just decided I'm going to move. Why are you going to move your house in a nice area? And it's not for me. This thing is not for me. So that is one understanding of the hadith. But for sure, what we can say is there's absolutely no chance of superstition in Islam, because that goes against Tawheed, which is the essence of Islam.
Yeah. Okay. I want to move on to some closing questions now before I give you a chance to summarize what we've discussed so far.
I was wondering when you're going to ask me about the things that women have been given that men haven't been.
Yeah, that's not for this podcast. That's definitely not for this one.
We're not going to talk about wearing gold and silk and the ease that's been given to the women in some of that.
No, that door is closed. That door is definitely closed. That's not for discussion here.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.